Phil Morrison. I'm a social anxiety coach. So, how do you prove to yourself that you can beat social anxiety? So, I came up with this when I was coaching a guy a couple of months ago. A guy who was frustrated because he felt stifled around lots of people in his life and just wanted to overcome that anxiety, be able to let his guard down and feel relaxed. And through the conversation, we realized that there's a couple of people in his life who he's already relaxed around. If you can identify even just one person in your life, or one person that used to be in your life, who you was comfortable with, who you felt confident around, and you felt like you could just talk to that person about anything. If there's someone like that in your life, this means that you've already beat social anxiety with one or more people. It's really easy to dismiss answers, dismiss facts when they're right under our nose. As my mentor used to say to me, success is simple, but the mind makes it complicated. Overcoming social anxiety is simple, but the mind makes it really complicated. It doesn't require lots of intellectual knowledge, but it does require courage. So if there's people in your life who you're already confident with, that means that you know for a fact that you can overcome social anxiety with people. The mind can't argue with facts and evidence, something which you can't be tricked on. So let's say you have a few people who you're confident with and you're comfortable around. You can then ask yourself, what is it about these people that allows you to be yourself? Maybe they're not very judgmental, easygoing, and you know that you can say whatever's on your mind and you're not going to get met with a negative reaction. Maybe these people genuinely listen to you. Maybe you share common ground. Maybe you've been through similar sets of challenges and it feels like you're understood by this person. Or maybe they're just confident that they're speaking a lot and that just makes it easy for you. You know, your energy, their energy, your vibe, their vibe just works together. Like certain foods go together really, really well. Certain people do as well. You just bounce off each other. Knowing what helps you feel comfortable around people can really help you in your journey overcoming social anxiety and building confidence. One thing which helps out a lot of people that I coach is to assume familiarity. So when you're speaking to new people, speak to them as if you've known them for 5 years already. Speak to them like you've known them for your whole life, and you're already comfortable with each other. This eliminates that tension, that awkwardness, creates mutual comfort, and it helps you to open up and be yourself. Which is the fundamental of connecting with a person. Again, really, really, really simple. Opening up and being yourself. So you've overcome social anxiety with a few people. And maybe you're at the stage where you want to get more confident with people in general. Maybe there's some environments where you feel confident and other environments where you feel more nervous and tense. So if there's an environment where you don't feel relaxed and your social anxiety levels are higher, one thing to check in with yourself about is whether this is actually a bad thing or a good thing. If you feel higher levels of social anxiety around people that aren't nice, perhaps that's the best thing for you. There's certain people who you want to be open with, and certain people who it's better to be a bit closed off towards. Self-protection. Some people you can trust, some people who it would be unsafe to trust. So social anxiety itself is there to protect you and keep you safe. There's lots of people who you can trust and good people who you can connect with and can get on with. And there's also people who you might not want to open up to. And of course, it's important to know that you're not going to have an amazing relationship with every person. It's not how it's meant to be. I remember hearing the phrase that we're not social chameleons. You can't blend into every environment and get on with every kind of person. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not about faking it, it's about finding the right people for you to connect with. Your tribes, your tribe or your tribes, your community or your communities. The kinds of people who you feel that it's easy to be yourself around. And if one of your challenges is a lack of opportunity, you're someone that really wants to get confident around people, you want to grow, you want to work on yourself, but you're thinking, well, how do I actually do this? Where do I go? What do I do? A great platform to try is meetup.com. It's been going for a while now and getting more and more and more popular. You can join meetup.com. It's free, and you can see all kinds of different socials going on in your area. And if you're in a country where they don't have meetup.com, there's going to be similar platforms that also exist. So whether you're into film, music, health and fitness, personal growth, maybe you like reading, you want to join a book club, there's all kinds of different socials going on which are posted to Meetup. And this means that you have an opportunity to go out there, meet different people over a shared interest. So the shared interest will take the pressure off both yourself and the other person because you've immediately got something in common to talk about. And the fact that it's a meetup group, it means that it's outside of your place of work, outside of your family, outside of potentially your current social life, if you have one. And it's fine if you don't. So this means that it's a great place to practice, a great place to train. It's like it's a training ground where you can fail your way to success. You can go out there, be yourself, give yourself permission to make mistakes. Give yourself permission to say stupid things, to get things wrong, because you have to learn. Experience is how you get confident in social groups. And if you have groups that you can go to where you have the freedom to put yourself out there, you don't feel restricted, there's no ties holding you back. For example, at work, you might think, well, I can't say certain things because it's risky for my job. And that can stop you from really being yourself. But if you're going to a social with people that you don't know, you can be yourself. What's the worst that can happen? And what I recommend for clients that I'm coaching who are overcoming social anxiety is to go to 1 to 2 socials every single week. At the start, this can sound quite daunting, sound pretty scary, but over time, it will become normal, will become routine, and it won't be such a big deal. Your level of fear will go down, and the amount of fun you're having will go up. And one of the reasons that I recommend meetups and socials in this format is because it's usually a good level of challenge for people with social anxiety. And it's exposure therapy done in the right way. So imagine that you wanted to put on muscle and you was going to the gym and doing weightlifting. If you're doing a shoulder press and you don't put any weight on the bar, so it's just the weight of the bar itself, you might be able to do it all day, and because it's not much of a challenge, you're not going to build much muscle. You're not going to make many gains. This is a bit like you sticking with your current routine and not making any behavioral changes. Not being exposed to anything more challenging than what you're currently doing. So you're not going to grow if you're not challenging yourself. Then on the extreme opposite end of the spectrum, if you pick the bar up and you'd loaded it with crazy amounts of weight and you're not an experienced lifter, you're gonna potentially just collapse under the bar and actually damage yourself, injure yourself, and you'll be even more afraid of lifting weights. This is a bit like if someone comes to me with crippling social anxiety. If I was to get them to do a public talk in front of 1,000 people, That'd be way too much. The level of weight on the bar is analogous to the level of fear that the person's facing. The sweet spot is to find a level of fear which is perfectly manageable, but still a bit scary, where someone can feel it, but it's not overwhelming. A bit like if you was doing the shoulder press and you picked a weight that you could do for 6 to 12 reps. You can handle that weight, but you can feel it at the same time. That's the sweet spot for personal growth. And if you're new to going to, if it's new for you to go to these different socials, just turning up and going, that's enough for you to grow for the time being. And when you've got to a stage where you can go to a couple of socials a week and you're not exhausted and fatigued, you're actually enjoying them more, or you're actually enjoying them full stop. When you're at that stage, then you can start to make it more challenging and practice being more honest when you're there. Really being yourself, saying what you're actually thinking, acting from a place of courage rather than a place of fear. And it takes time. You don't overcome social anxiety overnight. It's a journey. Just like it takes time for someone to get into fantastic physical shape. Action taken over time. But when you get exposure therapy done in the right way, you're putting yourself into the right environments where you're going to be encouraged and rewarded for being yourself. It's going to help you grow a lot. And the sky's the limit. Something that I did years ago before getting into coaching, and partly when I was coaching as well, there was an overlap. I did improv comedy. And for me, this was a great challenge because I wanted something at the time that I would find really scary, but something that would give me the opportunity to really take my public speaking and confidence to a different level. So I did a few years of improv comedy, which really helped me out big time as well. So facing social fears is how you get confident with people and overcome your social anxiety. And the key thing is to be yourself. So not go into a social in character, dropping that social mask, actually being yourself and facing your social fears as the character of you, as your true character. That's how you really overcome your anxiety and get confident with people. And just going to a couple of socials a week is a fantastic start. And being consistent is the key because it's easy to go to a social when you're feeling in a great mood. Things in your life are going great. But it's a lot harder if you're going through some personal challenges. If you go to socials twice a week, there'll be times where you really don't feel like going. Times where you're not in the mood to be around people. Maybe you'll have weeks or months where you feel depressed, you'll feel irritable and angry. You'll You'll feel stressed out by challenges in life. Maybe you'll feel disheartened and knocked back. And the key is to keep on going to the socials and keep on being consistent with your routine, even when you feel terrible. And that's when you build the most confidence. Something which my mentor would say to me repeatedly is, you can't go by your emotions if you want to be successful. It's about discipline, action taking, consistency, doing the simple things consistently over time. So habits like going to a couple of socials a week, they can sound really easy. Maybe you're watching this video and you're thinking, yeah, I can do that. That sounds doable, sounds easy. And it may feel easy at the start, it might not. But keeping it up on a long-term basis, that's the real challenge. If you can keep something like this up for 6 months, a year, you're going to get so much social experience under your belt. And knowing that you can go to different socials in any state of mind. You can go there at your best, you can go there at your worst, and still connect with people. That's life-changing. And I've also learned the same skill set doing coaching. So most of the time, I'm in a good place. I'm happy, on top of things in my life. Things are going good overall. But that's not all the time. I'm a human. Sometimes life throws curveballs and challenges your way. But I can't stop coaching. And I realize that I can still coach well, even at times where I'm going through personal challenges. This is a great realization to have. You don't need to put pressure on yourself to control how you feel and get yourself into this amazing state before socializing. You can socialize regardless of how you feel. And to contradict myself completely, when you're on the right path and doing the right things, even if you're not feeling great at the moment, your emotions will catch up to the behavior over time. You get the behavior right, you'll get yourself into a good place, but it takes time. So changes in emotions and how you feel in general, your general state, it lags behind changes in your behavior. But the two always follow. They always come together. And even if you don't believe you can overcome social anxiety, that's okay. You don't need to believe you can achieve something to achieve it. So even if right now you're listening to this video, you want to overcome social anxiety, but you're not sure whether or not you believe you can really do it, that's fine. Did I believe when I started trying that I could build a coaching business? I wasn't sure. I wanted to build one. I thought this would be my dream job, purpose in life, and I believe it is. Did I really believe that I could make it work and make it a full-time thing? I was doubtful. I wasn't completely sure, but I did it. When I found my first relationship, my first girlfriend, prior to then, I didn't really believe that I could meet somebody. I thought, this is just something which happens to other people. I don't think it's going to happen for me. And the evidence I'd experienced prior to that point seemed to support the idea that it wasn't going to happen in my mind at the time. So I didn't believe that I could find myself a nice girlfriend. I thought, it's not going to happen. Don't really believe it. But I carried on taking action, going for it. And eventually, when I least expected it, it just happened. So what's the lesson? The lesson is that you don't need to believe you can do something to actually do it. But then interestingly, when you commit to taking action, regardless of your belief, the belief often starts to kick in over time. And when you've achieved the thing you're looking for, of course, then by this point, the belief has kicked in. So don't worry if you don't believe you can do it. You're thinking too far ahead if your mind's going to this place. Common pattern with anxiety is to go really far into the future, unnecessarily far ahead. So if you have social anxiety and you want to get more confident, you don't need to think too far into the future. Just make it a task at some point in the next couple of days to go on meetup.com, join it, have a look at socials going on in your area, and book yourself on one. Keep it that simple. Go there, see how you feel. And you'll probably come away feeling more motivated than you arrived. Because motivation follows action taking, not the other way around. That's a big mistake that lots of people make. They try to motivate themselves to take a certain action. But that's not how it works. That's the wrong way around. When you've taken action, motivation kicks in to keep on taking more action. A little bit like when you've been on a roller coaster, and before the roller coaster, you're kind of dreading it. You enjoy it when it's happening, and you say, I want to do that again. Immediately, you want to do it again. So the motivation comes afterwards. So you have to take action first and trust that motivation will start to kick in after the event. When you've been to one social, that's like going on a roller coaster. Motivation will kick in to book yourself on another one. And my advice is, don't procrastinate. Start now. It takes time to get more confident with people. So the more you delay it, the older you're going to be before you get to the place where you want to be. So just go for it. Start now. Don't wait around. You could wait around your whole life and nothing would magically change. You have to be the one to make the change. And if you're interested in coming to my meetup, so I've got a meetup group. I put on events every single month in Birmingham to help people overcome social anxiety. Just drop me an email. And if you're interested in working on your anxiety, building confidence with people, feel free to contact me, and I'll let you know about my private coaching. We can book a session, get on a call, and I can help you out, providing that you're the right fit for my coaching. If you're new to my channel and you want to see more of my stuff, feel free to subscribe. Feel free to hit like if you enjoyed this video. Until next time, have an amazing rest of your day. I'm going to get my exercise and my cardio and weights in today, and then go and coach a client in town. So I'll sign off for now and make sure that I get out there and make the most of my day.